Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine Live. I am here to do the second sketch from the August 2022 Worldwide Virtual Crop. And without further ado, I think I have my camera straightened out and everything fixed for my first live stream. So I apologize if things were a little bit backwards the first time, but I think we've got it sorted out this time. So let me go ahead and add things in and switch things up here. There we go. All right, we are straight. You can actually read it. That's awesome. I am super happy about that. Let's get going with sketch number 2. So I've printed it out. And one of the things I forgot to mention in my first broadcast was that, as I've mentioned before, when I've done sketches for me are kind of like recipes. Recipes are guides. I'm a chef. I'm not very good at following recipes. And I'm always kind of doing something, I guess, a little different with the sketches as well. So I hope it gives you some inspiration and some ideas on how to interpret these. And maybe I tend to be a little more frugal with the paper than others, but I just figure it comes out still looking great. So for this time, we have our second sketch here. You can see it. I'm going to set it aside so I can figure out what I'm doing here. We're going to be using our Vivid Melodies papers. And for this sketch, it does kind of need a little bit more than our first one. The first one, basically, I used a sheet of cardstock and a sheet of paper and some mats, and it was worked out great. For this one, we have a 2-page layout. So I actually picked my favorite print in the entire pack of the Vivid Melodies. It's this ivy oval almost looking pattern. I love it. So I've got that one for my base pages this time. And then, surprise, surprise, I've taken from our butterscotch. So this first one was from our, is it lime? Yes, from our lime tart. So these are from our lime tart pack. And I've also picked from our butterscotch pack the same exact paper with the same pattern, because we actually, in our sketch, we are going to layer part of it with this different print. And then I've picked out another sheet that's complementary. And these are the two that have the scallops on them. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know why I've got a little bit of a glare going on, but maybe I can hold it a little bit better. Well, there you go. There's some scallops. Got it. So I've got the scallop from the butterscotch pack and the scallop from the lime tart pack as well. And these are going to be our photo mats. So you're going to see what I'm going to do with that. I've also pulled out a couple of embellishments. I had purchased the bundle. I do have an intro video on my YouTube channel showing the bundle and to show that you get these enameled stickers, embellishments, whatever you want to call them. But I pulled out this grateful one to use on our page as a title. And then I've also pulled out our stickers, which are border stickers. And we have a border that kind of runs across the top of the sketch as well. So let's get rolling with it. I'm going to go ahead and first, let's set some of this aside. I feel like I've taken up my entire table here with paper. I guess I kind of have. So we're going to set aside first our base pages because we don't need those right away. Pulling out my trimmer. We do need the long arm pulled out because our first cut is going to be at 6 inches. And I'm going to try to run these so it looks like our ivy is climbing. So this one is a little bit more of a directional page, and I want to make sure that I'm cutting it in the direction that I want it to run. I want it to look like it's lengthening the page. The ivy's running up the page. And there we go. That's it. That's all we're doing to it. We're cutting it in half at 6 inches. Go ahead and set it aside with your base pages. With our dark green here, we are going to cut some mats. We're going to cut at 4 inches first, and we're going to cut it twice at 4 inches. And then we actually are going to have a couple of scraps. I don't know. My card people are probably going to like that later they're probably going to get another card video out of me coming up using some of these scraps. And then with the orange, we're going to cut at 4.5 inches here. And there we go. All right. And then for the orange, okay, this one we are going to cut again. I missed my turning my 90 degrees. So this one we're going to cut at 6.5 inches. And I actually do have the scallops running up and down. This one actually is going to run this way on the page. And then our remaining piece is 4.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And this is also going to be a mat for one of our pages as well. So we're going to set those aside. With these 2 4-inch strips we cut from our green, we're going to turn it and we're going to cut it at 5.5 inches twice, because our other sheet we cut at 6 inches, right? And we want to be able to have some of that showing through on the sides of our mats. And so for this one, we will be trimming down our pictures a little bit more, but I think it's going to be worth it. We're actually going to get more pictures on the page than what the initial sketch is showing. I'm actually doing 4 5.5 inch mats. So it's 4 inches by 5.5 inches. And to find the 5.5 on your trimmer, it's a little bit trickier. There's a line kind of right in where the bar comes out. And I've often told my card makers, because our standard card size is 4.25 by 5.5, if you leave your extendable cutting bar in, just cut to the end of the blue, and that'll give you 5.5 inches, no problem. But otherwise, if you have your bar extended, it's right here at the end of your piece here. You can kind of see the little line in there. All right, let's go ahead and set our trimmers aside. That should be all the cutting we need. At least that's all the cutting I have initially planned. But, you know, like I said, I'm not always the best at following even my own instructions sometimes. So let's see how this goes. We're going to go ahead and place both our sheets side by side. I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap because we're going to place each one of our 6 by 12 inch pages directly in the center. So you can see how it's kind of framing it a little bit in the middle. It's breaking up a lot of the green with the yellow, but we have the same pattern, so it's kind of cohesive. And that's kind of how our sketch looks. It looks like you're breaking up your page a bit. And on the sketch, you could take another sheet and cut it down maybe 3 inches from here if you started with a piece of cardstock or something, and add, you know, maybe a scrap up here and up here to add a different color or effect to your page. But I just didn't want to, so I'm not. Just giving you ideas of things that you can do if you feel like your page needs a little bit more. I've grabbed out my tape runner. I'm going to go ahead and start placing this down on my page here. Here we go. And let's get this down and lined up. There we go. Okay, so now our main part of our page is done, amazingly enough. We have all of our mats that we cut, and you can see how our 4 inch by 5.5 inch mats are going to just fit really nicely, and it pops so well. I should have actually turned my page before I cut it, because right now my scallops are running the opposite direction as on my page. But you know what? I'm okay with that. Our picture is going to cover most of it anyways. And even though I have the other ones running up and down, you know what? It is what it is. Like I said, I tend to be a little more frugal with the paper anyway, so we're going to go with it. Here we go. Make sure I have my tape runner going the right direction. There's that. And I'm playing a little bit of tape runner chicken here, I think. It looks like it's about to run out on me, but can't be any more than my last live stream where everything was upside down. So if my tape runner goes, I have a refill close by. I will just go and grab it. Here we go. We're going to get these 4 on the page. And that's the other nice thing about our tape runners is a little bit goes a long way. So I don't have to use a ton to know that my mat here will stick. Just using little bits of tape from the tape runner. There we go. And I guess I associate the tape runner chicken with my yarn chicken because I also crochet. So that's we talk about yarn chicken when you're getting towards the end of a row and your yarn's about to run out, but you want to get your project finished. Okay, let's grab our border sticker next. And we're going to go ahead and run this across the top of our page. Oh, I love it. It just really is accenting our leaves and green that we already have. It kind of fades a little bit on the side, but I'm okay with that because in nature sometimes you have where the green does fade into other greens. There we go. Oops. I think almost the hardest part is just getting it off the page there. Okay. There we go. All right, so we have our borders now put across the top. I did grab my foam squares as well. Our little box was from our butterscotch embellishments, and I think this one is going to go to the, I don't know if I want it in or out. Let's see here. Actually, I think I want it out a little bit because then that gives me the opportunity to put my flower up here. And I pulled another leaf, but I think that's almost going to be too much. And then I have our grateful over here that's going to be bring back in this dark green color as well. And hi, Norma. She's back with me again. That's awesome. I'm so glad you joined me again tonight. Here we go. And I'm so glad that you liked the border stickers. They are so much fun. And they are lovely. You're right. The other colors were in there from our other Vivid Melodies pack. So this goes with our, I believe it's a cobalt blue. I'm still learning the name since this just came out. So let's get our grateful stuck down here. Woo! That was kind of loud, but that's okay. Here we go. And I'm going to stick down our journal box, but I think I'm actually going to pop the little flower up on some foam squares. I love that this little box, it's not really a box. I guess our little circle, our journal circle is ready to go. And I really liked that it had the orange in it as well, because it kind of keeps our colors on our pages flowing nicely here. Let me grab a foam square real quick. And actually, we're going to need a couple for this one. I'm going to use a couple of the large foam squares to pop up our flower here. And there we go. Pretty simple. Quite lovely. Let's see, on our sketch, it looks like there's another accent here, which makes sense because I was just looking at this thinking, okay, we want our photos to pop for sure when we get them, but it does look like the bottom of our page needs a little something. And I think that would be too big and too random to put this other leaf in. But I think if we had another, maybe another smaller butterscotch flower, if I can find, let's see here, my pack of embellishments. Here we go. I kind of took them all out of the bigger pack. And then I am going to, let's see if we have anything else that might work. Here's another one of those roses. Let's see which size looks better down in this bottom corner. So we kind of have a choice of two sizes. We've got this bigger one here, which actually I think I might like better than the smaller one. Yep. So this one also, I'm going to put on a couple of foam squares and I'm going to stick it so it's stuck to the green paper. So that way when I go to put my pictures, my embellishment's not going to be in the way and it's not going to stick to my pictures when I get those going on here. So here we go. All right. Oh, I've got another person on Facebook who joined me. Thank you so much for joining and enjoying the layout I put together. Let's finish this off here. Where are my foam squares? I just want to make sure that I actually get them in the right place. There we go. All right. So I think that is it. You can see where sometimes just even having the right size, even though it's the same, essentially almost basic, almost the same type of flower look. It's just the size does make a difference on the page as well. And then I think it's going to accentuate our photos once we get those put in. And this actually might be fun for a gardening page. Here's our sketch one more time so you can see sketch number 2. And I will hold these up closer to the camera again as well for you if I can actually get the direction going right here. So we have our grateful, we had our half page here, and you can take, and if you really want to be even more frugal with your paper, you could take and actually cut your base pages in half and then weld together these two pieces. For me, it was just quicker and easier to go ahead and put it on top. And I think it turned out wonderfully. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this sketch number 2 from the August 2022 Creative Memories Virtual Crop done live. Until next time.